Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a hilarious and somewhat cautionary tale from our subscriber Phil, who shares his experiences with a Thai girlfriend. It's a story filled with unexpected twists, cultural misunderstandings, and a healthy dose of revenge. So, grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy this wild ride through Phil's Thai adventure. I had been coming to Thailand for 5 years. I had toyed with the culture and paradise beaches, but came to the conclusion that shagging one's nuts off forever and ever was the one true path in life. On my next trip, I would look at renting a condo. I was due to leave in a few days and had my eyes set on a condo to rent. Before I left, I went really soft for a Thai lady called Lon and asked her out. She said no, but I did manage to eventually get her into the sack. Other than that, my advances for commitment were shunned. I promised to keep in touch and went back to my job. While in Oman, where I worked, I tirelessly got on with the admin required to move into my condo by New Year's Eve. When the contract was scanned and sent off, I was proud to tell Lon my plan was bearing fruit, and I was indeed going to make Thailand my home. She informed me that yet again her flatmate had not come up with her share of the rent, and was indeed facing eviction. Now, being somewhat suspicious of anything Thai and female, I took this as, "How do you fancy paying my rent?" To which I just played dumb to her hinting. I called her one night to see if she fancied going out when I got back to Thailand. I was gutted when her friend answered, and not her. "You boyfriend Lon?" she asked. "No." "You P Phil?" "Yes or no?" "Yes," I said, a bit confused. After finally speaking with her, it was confirmed I was indeed her boyfriend. It's just no one had bothered telling me. As soon as I touched down in Thailand, we would meet up and go look at my new condo. Our relationship started to go a bit fast at this point. After a few days, I met her mum, stepdad, and brother. Then came her old man, who watched my TV, ate my food, drank my beer, but didn't think it necessary to acknowledge me other than to gain access to my front room. Things came to a head when Noi got the sack for missing work to hang out with me, and her roommates couldn't be asked to pay the rent again. I decided it would be win-win if she moved in with me. Nuki on tap, a cook and maid all rolled into one. After all, it was my fault she had lost her job, and I would take care of her for a short time financially. Then she would get a new job and everything would be fine. This is the bit when everyone says, "Phil, if you believe that, you're a douche." She basically got really involved with the national pastime of sleeping and watching TV. Her intentions of getting a job soon went out the window. I mean, why not when you had muggings giving her money and she could sit on her skinny arse all day eating some tam? I also had the pleasure of many surprise family visits, which ended in me having to pay for days out and footing the bill at local restaurants. Then on their departure, demands for a few thousand baht. On one occasion, I came back from being 2 months apart. I had one day alone with my missus and was informed her brother would be visiting for the day with his girlfriend. Ordinarily, this would be fine, except 1. Lon was due off her period that day. 2. I hadn't had any action for 2 months. 3. The one-day afternoon visit turned into me hosting them for 4 days in my one-bedroom condo. And of course, I was expected to pay for everything for the duration. On the day of his supposed planned departure, Lon informed me her brother would be staying for one more day as he wanted me to take him paintballing. This is when I lost it for the first time. When I returned to work, I had had enough. I wanted rid of the sponging twats. Unfortunately, I still felt too guilty to bin her while she was jobless and homeless. Then an opportunity arose. I found her on one of her friends list on Facebook. I requested her, but she refused. I knew then she was cheating, and Facebook was her tool. So I set up a fake profile of a good-looking guy, and alas, I was accepted. She had 10 friends, 9 of whom were men, and all Farang. I tried the password she'd given me to make her Skype account on Facebook. Denied. I checked her email in the info section. It was one I had never seen. I tried her Skype password again, and it was a match. Tens of emails to some Norwegian guy, declaring her love, and much more. I printed off the evidence. Now I wanted to bin her there and then. I thought, you cheeky cow. Mostly, what I couldn't get over was how a simpleton who thought after a meal if I piled up the dirty plates I was trapping dead spirits had actually got one over me. My main problem was she was in my condo and I was in the sandpit. I felt I couldn't do it without her going ting-tong and destroying my flat like I had heard so many disgruntled ex-Thai girlfriends do. However, I am also acutely aware that when crossed, I am indeed a vindictive bastard and need my revenge. I immediately used her email to change her password on her Facebook. She loved herself and when not watching TV, watched the mirror and would stare at a puddle of piss if it got her some face time. First, I attacked her vanity by changing her profile pic to a fat Asian woman, and then fired across a few insults to her best friend to ensure she got a phone call informing her something was amiss. Being a computer mongo, my missus didn't know what to do or think, but she was angry. I talked with her on Skype and let her know I would track down the bad man and beat him up for her. I decided I would torture her with worry until I got back. I would let slip bits of info about her Norwegian lover and blame it on the bad man informing me by email. I would let her worry, then tell her I didn't believe him, then do it all again. I even asked her what colour car she wanted me to buy her when I got home so I could build her up, only to make her lose maximum face at a later date. The last thing I did before getting the flight to Thailand was to change her profile picture again. This time to that of a lady boy with a massive dick. I did this mainly because when she dyed her hair blonde, a tourist had asked if she was in fact a lady boy. I arrived 2 days earlier than she expected, and I was looking forward to kicking her out and hoping to catch her in the act. I had already planned a night out with my mate Peter. I just needed to bin the Som Tam monster. I opened the door to my condo and it stunk of cigarettes after I asked her to smoke outside. The place was a tip with food wrappers, ash, bedding, and clothes everywhere. Her best mate was asleep topless on my sofa. My soon-to-be ex was sleeping upright with her netbook on her lap. I decided to stay calm because if I finished her now, I would have to clean this shit up myself. So I told her firmly I was not impressed and to step it up a gear and get cleaning. So after the initial surprise of my early arrival, she started cleaning. Meanwhile, I grabbed all my important docs, tickets, and passport plus her keys and locked them in my safe. As soon as she and her mate went to clean the bathroom, I microwaved her phone I had bought. I then went out to my balcony and called Peter to confirm our drinking rendezvous. I decided the next hour was best, spent getting pissed ready for my night out, so nipped down to the building shop and bought a couple of small bottles of vodka as they were out of the big ones. I walked back into my condo and noted the Som Tam monster was making progress and looked pleased with her hard work. I had a little chuckle and sat down with her netbook that I also bought and drank my vodka on the balcony. This is where I uninstalled all her programs, making her netbook an expensive paperweight. I'm now drunk and wishing she would just hurry up and finish her chores so I can fire her and go out and get a shag. She then comes up to me, confused and indicating her phone smells and does not work. I explained this with karma. She then showed a look of annoyance as she walked over to where I was sitting. But then clocks, her emails, and Facebook print-offs that I had given up hiding because I was too pissed. The reaction was priceless. Most Western chicks that have been caught out would usually be humble and apologetic. Not my bint. Without missing a beat, 2 vodka bottles are thrown at my head in quick succession, followed by a combo Tyson would be proud of. Her finishing move is the traditional cat's claws to the face. After restraining it and calming it down just slightly enough to speak, it yells, "For what? You want me go? Take my tings." I go now, take my tings. Then weirdly pauses. To this day, I honestly believe she was expecting me to say, "No, please don't go." Instead, I firmly advised her to get out of my condo. At this point, her friend started wailing. Then off they both trotted. I had a great night out and decided girlfriends are crap and got laid. It didn't end there. A few days later, I put her up for a couple of nights as she was effectively homeless until her mum got back to Bangkok. On the last day, I was rewarded with her using her teeth to try to take a chunk out of my chest, and a couple of headshots because I was singing what she wrongly assumed was some sort of insult. This was just more taking the piss. So I gave her a bollocking that would have made Zeus shit his pants and winged her out. She pleaded for me to take her back and promised she had finished with the Norwegian, making the well-known declaration of "I love you too much." What she didn't know was I had installed a keyboard logger on my laptop and had her new Facebook account password from when she had been sneaking on without my permission. On return to the Middle East, I set up a clone Facebook account of her Norwegian, went into hers, blocked his real one, and accepted my fake. At one point, when I was pretending to be him, she explained she had finished with the real me because she loved him. I couldn't take this, so I changed his profile picture to a pic of her with me, then logged off knowing she would now be infinitely confused. Now, that was the end of my revenge games. Mostly because I was no longer angry, but because I don't fancy my own murder-suicide or 2 bullets in the back of my head from a motorcycle taxi, which I think she would be capable of due to an argument we had one night when she was drunk. I had stopped the taxi a good 800 meters before my building to give her time to calm down and avoid waking up the neighbors. As we were walking up our SOUI, she clocked some police lights from an accident. She immediately ripped and tore her dress, exposing her breasts. I obviously thought, blimey, better say anything to get out of this, or I'm going to have to bribe my way out of a police cell. Of course, the next day, the whole incident was blamed on alcohol and my attitude. I was lucky she was gracious enough to forgive me. Well, that's how she saw it. Lessons learnt would be revenge is immature but fun. But it's a pain in the arse to have to watch your back when you're not pissed off anymore. She used to call me at all hours using different phones, but I ignored her for the most part. I got some abuse once when I broke that rule, and replied by text to let her know I didn't want to talk or see her. The abuse I got was funny, just random swear words thrown badly together. I could picture her with her half-wit friends and family pooling together all the collective swear words they knew, then proudly pressing send. Not knowing on receipt I would be doubled over with laughter. I'm back home to Thailand soon and have had a new SIM card for 18 months now. I love being single in Thailand. All the happiest guys are. Well, that was quite a roller coaster, wasn't it? Phil's story is a hilarious and cautionary tale about the complexities of cross-cultural relationships. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more entertaining stories. And don't forget to leave a comment below, sharing your thoughts and experiences. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.